So we're going to be checking out another video from the good brother O'Shea Duke Jackson's, where he's going to be talking about the city girl mayor, Tiffany Henyard. If you didn't know, she recently released episode 1 of her podcast, to where she was going to address the issues that the people want to know about. 34 minutes later, nothing. She addressed everything else. Basically, 34 minutes of a 12-year-old having a temper tantrum, and you're picking with me, so I'm gonna pick with you. Basically, what it boils down to, what I've gathered from it is just everyday problems that goes on in a city or a village. Fights at clubs, people get shot, and things of that nature. It did not address a single thing that the people want us to know about. So O'Shea explores it a little bit further. City Girl Mayor deletes her podcast. So let's see what this is about.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of the Celebrity Junk. So I happen to be looking for the podcast from Tiffany Henyard, the On the Move podcast. And as Tiffany Henyard is going on to these major platforms, and she always goes to major platforms that are softballs, right? Platforms like Roland Martin, Angela Yee, platforms that are not going to challenge her. Like, she would never do an interview with Fox News, nothing like that, right? But she put this podcast up where she was roasting people, and again, and pulling receipts out. And let me just be honest, she is comical. I can see why people like her. She's definitely a Pukisha, all right? Definitely. But something has happened with Tiffany Henyard. If we look at this Facebook post, the podcast is live. I told you.
I watched that podcast, and she was comical in a not funny type of way, and trying to be funny, trying to sound smart, trying to sound articulate, misplacing words, mispronouncing words, pretty much making up words. Communication is a two-way street. I must understand what you're saying in order for it to have any relevance. You just making up words and just trying to make yourself seem smart. I mean, either you're smart or you're not. Just play your role. It doesn't matter. You know, who you care if people judge you? People gonna judge you every second, especially when you're in a authoritative position. So stop playing.
Y'all to stop lying on me. Now I will show the people the truth about y'all. Stay tuned. I'm just getting started. Lie on me, I'll tell the truth on you. And when you click on that link, editor, click on the link there. What do you see? This page isn't available. Sorry about that. Try searching for something else. The original video had like 10,000 views. But Tiffany Henyard took the channel down. Now, this is interesting because she's done that several times, took the podcast down, and took the channel down. And I wonder why she is doing that. And I believe possibly because as the mayor, she might have breached something as far as clapping back at the residents. I don't know if that body cam footage was supposed to be released to the public or not, but it's taken down.
She took that podcast down, but people have that podcast, including myself. I couldn't bring myself to sit through the entire thing, commentating on it, but I sat through a good portion of it. Now, people still have it. Miss Tiffany, the internet is in ink. You can't erase real ink. I'm sure they have eraser depends, but no, you can't erase the internet.
But here's the second thing. She tried a podcast before on the Village of Dalton. And this is interesting because she's using the community pages of the Village of Dalton. I talked to Brother Edward Steve. He told me he was the one that started all of the Dalton stuff. You know, the Facebook page, the YouTube page, the Village of Dalton. But she's also tried to post a podcast on the Village of Dalton page, and then it had no sound. It had absolutely no sound. The whole podcast had no sound, which also leads me to believe this about Tiffany Henyard. Tiffany Henyard and her staff completely are idiotic, low IQ, and incompetent. That is right, guys. The staff that does the podcast is even dumber than those who run her city administration. What do I mean? First and foremost, I was talking about Brother Andrew Holmes. I don't know the guy, but I've heard very many things about this guy from many people around Dalton, around Chicagoland area. This was a guy who was running for mayor. Now, he doesn't even live in Dalton, okay? He lives in Chicago. Somebody got him a Dalton address. Let me play a clip of him running for mayor, talking about the city's infrastructure.
Dalton is a great place, but it's bad when you really don't know the inside.
Among them is Andrew Holmes, known by...
This was probably years ago, which I'm sure it is, but still, you have a mask on. You're not wearing the mask correctly. Even though the mask doesn't work in the first place, you're just capitulating to what these people have told you. When you have a mask on, to me, your credibility is automatically gone out the window.
Many as a community activist and victims advocate, Holmes is now running for mayor of Dalton.
And you say, welcome to Dalton? What are you really welcoming them into Dalton for? Let's take a look inside of Dalton and see what's really going on.
Now, what I have found out about Andrew Holmes is Andrew Holmes knows nothing about politics despite being a trustee, and himself can barely read. Not an educated man. He's not intelligent. Look at Keith Freeman, a career convicted criminal. He has more felonies than the Pittsburgh Steelers have Super Bowl rings, all right? Then you look at Stan Brown, who at least we don't hear enough about him, but the fact that he's associated with Tiffany Henyard, he can't be that smart. So then let's notice that Tiffany Henyard builds a career out of galvanizing herself amongst idiots. The problem with that is it doesn't work when you come to the private sector. You see, in business, you need people who actually can read and write, okay? In business. In the private sector, you need skilled people. The reason why your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson is able to do something on YouTube is I have quite a level of people who are experts at this. I'm still growing in the business, but I have good editing, I have good sound, we have great machines in the studio, we have great camera gear. That requires a level of expertise. That's why we have what we have, okay? But not Henyard. The people who run her things can't do it. That's why they deleted the damn channel, maybe by accident, the whole podcast. And the first podcast had no sound that was posted. And I'm looking at our brothers and sisters in the city of Dalton, and I'm thinking about something here. Brothers and sisters, is this the best that we have over there? I know it's not, but is this a representation of what we're seeing in the Chicagoland area right now? Is this something that people can align themselves with? A person that can barely talk or read? And I'm not the person to talk about speaking the King's English very well, but Tiffany Henyard is just a very untalented woman. She's not bright. She's not educated. They said that she's educated. Nobody has found this out. I don't know where. Maybe educated in lying. But the lady's not an intelligent lady. Okay. And the people that she surrounds herself with are people who are going to be yes people.
Education and intelligence are two totally different things. You can have the most degrees on earth. You can be this PhD, this, that, but you can be a straight up dummy because you have no intelligence. You can be well educated. Education does not equate to intelligence. It does not. All it says that you can comprehend and be good enough to get through what's laid out and someone decided, okay, this is the structure of what this is. And you met the structure of what this is, and you get a passing grade. That's all education does for you. It's supposed to teach you how to critically think. And I would venture to say it used to be to think for yourself. But no, today and probably for the last 30 years, it's been about indoctrination. Think what we want you to think so we can manipulate your thinking later on.
Which in that case, I'm an intelligent person, not going to sit around saying yes to you all day when you don't know what you're doing. So in order to get a check from Tiffany Henyard or to be cool with her, you need to be extremely stupid. Sorry, Tiffany, it won't work on YouTube though. YouTube, you need to be consistent, you need to grow, you need to invest. Well, we know you don't like investing, you like stealing and divesting. So we know that hopefully you divest with somebody else, from another community, and got the black community. But it doesn't work. It doesn't work. All right? At all. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk.
So yeah, this lady, Miss Tiffany Henyard, it's every day. Every single day, there's something negative going on with this lady. And I think it's longer than we would like. Right now, the Democrats are using her for whatever purpose they're using her for. We've seen this thing play out over and over and over again. They're going to use you. They're going to let you do pretty much whatever you want to do until they no longer see a use for you, i.e. Diddy. And then, well, everything just gonna come crashing down. And supposedly this is a 40-something-year-old woman. Have you not seen these things? Have you not paid attention to these things? Apparently you haven't. Because if you did, you wouldn't have spent taxpayers' money on getting your hair done and your makeup done and your wardrobe done up to the tune of $7,690. Just one small but huge example, because this woman, between her two titles and between her two positions, she's makes almost $300,000 a year. But no, she didn't want to use her money. No, she didn't want to use her money. She wants to use the taxpayers' money.